Welcome back, guys, to another week of Akau TV. Joined here by a stable and fan favourite, Wild Knight. We'll touch on him a little bit later on, but first of all, we'll just touch on last week. It was a really great week, especially down south. Hunter and his team have really got those horses going super with a few wins down there. So with the 2-year-old out of the blue, he's now booked himself in for the Cracker Millions later in January, so he'll come up to Matamata for a bit of a spell. Origin Love took out the Watercree Stakes, so she's right on target for the Guineas in the next couple of weeks. Also, Belle Chevelle up in Auckland, she would put a really dominant display up there, so again she's sort of locked herself in for that Guineas race there next week. Carrying on from that massive day down south, we had One True King taking out that first race of the day. A really progressive horse that sort of only had the 2 starts, but really showing us something, so hopefully he can carry on with that. Legally Binding for Opie, another great win, sort of has been knocking on the door the last few starts, so really great for the good ownership team there. And I'm a Dirty Rascal. Great ride by Opie to get the win there over the 3,000 metres, showing that he's right on target for the Cup in a couple of weeks. So a massive day with 6 winners across the country, tip top for a Akau team. So we'll move on to this week's racing. We'll start off on Friday at Ashburton. We caught the lead in, drawn nicely, with Bruno Queries on top as well. Was just an okay run there first up there the other week. Look to see some improvement there second up and see some of that Rickard and synthetic form that she showed. She was very competitive in over the winter period. A little bit later on we have Cognoscenti, a horse that's just travelled down in the last couple of weeks down to the South Island from Matamata. He goes well fresh, so look for him for a nice bold run. Again, Bruno on top, drawn nicely, so expect a bold run there as well. Queen of Naples, a horse that pulled together a couple nice wins there at the end of her last preparation. Just that wide barrier sort of cost her chances there last start, so Bruno had to take her back. So drawn nicely this week, so hopefully she can sort of settle a bit handier and sort of finish over the top of them and get back to that winning form. Now we'll move along to Saturday at Tauranga. We have the rescheduled James Nanny Sarton Memorial for the 3-year-olds. We have High Roller, the horse that sort of had absolutely no luck. Its first 2 starts back this prep. Opie will stay on top, drawn a little bit sticky there in barrier 9. There is a race for him at Alizé, which is a potential. However, obviously having Opie on is big plus, so can over navigate that barrier and hopefully gets a little bit of luck and can show sort of some of his potential that he's shown us here at home. We also have Hostility. He's on the ballot at the moment. A little bit of a frustrating sort of week with him entered in at Te Rapa and obviously down at Ashburton as well. However, with flight issues, he was unable to make it down there. So hopefully he makes a spot here at Tauranga in either race 1 or 2. He's drawn well enough in those races, and realistically he should be sort of living up to some of the potential that he's shown us here at home and on race day. So he should be putting these kind of fields away, especially with the view of the 2,000 guineas there down in Rickard in a couple of weeks. So a strong winning chance if he makes one of those fields, as the market says. First of all, we'll kick off with High Roller in the maiden 14. Look, a horse that sort of had absolutely no luck the first couple of runs back. Sort of got galloped on a little bit there at Taupo a few weeks ago. So again, so drawn nicely, Opie on top. So hopefully he can just find a nice spot and run in there and just get a little bit of luck, so we can really sort of see how it's progressing and sort of see it finishing off nicely, show we're on target. We also have Maricopa Falls in the 3-year-old 1200. A horse that was really pleasing first up there at Taupo, a bit of a leader's bias track. George Rook got off and was really complimentary complimentary of her. So again, drawn nicely. So look to be positive there at Tauranga, and look to see her sort of resume back some of that sort of 2-year-old form that she showed. That was seeing her quite competitive there. Race 4, we have Mal Mason. Absolutely horror draw there. So leave it up to Opie sort of what he does there, but we'll need a little bit of luck to get into a nice spot. It was sort of the same there last start at Te Rapa. Just sort of had no luck from that draw. So really a bit of a head scratcher to how he'll go, but he's going pleasing us at home. So as long as he gets a little bit of luck from that draw. Zantabulous is our next runner. The horse that's sort of been off the scene a little bit. Her last race was January at the start of the year. Had a couple of nice trials, especially that most recent one was a nice third there. Opie got off and he was very happy with her. So drawn really nicely with Hayley on top as well, so it takes a valuable couple of kilos off. So look to sort of see her just sort of hitting the line strongly, see how she sort of come back, and look for her a little bit later on down the preparation. All right, now we'll move along to this big friendly boy, Wild Knight. So he's in the open 1300 there with Opie on top. Drawn nicely, carrying a bit of weight though, but that last run there at Taupo was real pleasing on sort of a track that didn't really suit him. He's run well at Tauranga previously, so look, he's pleasing us at home. So as long as he can just get a little bit of luck in running, then he should be quite competitive there in a reasonably strong field. All right, now for the rescheduled feature of the day, the Group 2 James and Annie Sarton. A bit unfortunate what happened there at Te Rapa early in the week, but He Who Dares is our runner in there. Look, another one that's sort of on that Guineas campaign. Was sort of really peaking there on Monday, but Opie galloped him here on Wednesday and was gave him sort of that final tick of approval, so he's really happy with him. Drawn nicely in barrier 5, so hopefully she get a nice sort of sweet trip just in behind that speed, and hopefully you can sort of turn the tables on a couple of them and really assert his dominance heading into that Guineas race in a couple of weeks. Now for the last race of the day, we have two horses in here. First of all, Accidental Tourist for the Windsor Park stud. A horse that's had some solid runs in his 3 runs back with apprentices on top. So now Opie will take the ride. So look, should be really fit, and with a senior jockey on top, hopefully find a nice spot in the running from a good draw, and should be quite competitive there in the finish. We also have El Viento. Look at a horse that's sort of got a few issues in the gates, but we've got a lot of time for him. So as long as he can sort of jump well and sort of find a spot in the race, and he can sort of finish off a nice mile then. So that wraps up our runners here in New Zealand for the weekend. Good sort of reputation from the south all the way up to the north on Saturday. Some really good racing sort of as we head up into some of those sort of spring and sort of summer feature races, in particular the Riccarton Carnival coming up. As for a best bet, quite tough with some even racing, but I really have to go He Who Dares in the Group 2 there. A horse that we've had a lot of time for this preparation and is really on track to that Guineas prep, and Opie given that final tick of approval with his gallop there on Wednesday. So He Who Dares should be a nice win chance there on Saturday. Good luck and go well.
Welcome to Te Aka TV this week. Ben, we have a huge weekend coming up, starting off on Friday at Kilmore.
Yep, huge weekend indeed to all our viewers out there. So we head to Kilmore with 2 runners. We've got Donato running an 1100 metre 3-year-old maiden, and he was really good on debut. He just didn't quite get out in time and rattled home and just missed out by a nose. And since then, the 2 horses, or one of the horses that beat him, has come out and won again, and I think the horse that finished behind him has won. So it's a good, strong maiden on form, and he's strong gate 2 tomorrow. A little bit of give in the track, he'll get conditions to suit. We've worked him at home in visors, and he really improved drastically. So I think we can get our first win on the board for Newgate tomorrow, who have been great supporters to us, giving us an extreme choice colt. So hopefully he'll win at his second start, and then we have Signa ready for Cambridge Stud. who's had a handful of starts now. He gets out to 1400 where he'll be much better suited, and he's been stiff getting just beaten a couple of times last preparation, but he's ready to go second up over 1400. We'd love to go there and start the weekend with a double in an ideal world, especially for two great farms in Cambridge Stud and Newgate Farm. But yeah, we'll see how those boys go.
Then off to Cranbourne for the night meeting.
Yes, I have to try and remember all the runners off by heart here. We have a massive night at Cranbourne. We kickstart things with Future Frankie, who she's been a busy filly, that's for sure, to kick off her career. But she started at Cranbourne about a month ago and rattled home on debut, and then went to stakes grade in the Ethereal at Caulfield a little bit over a week ago now, and ran gallantly. But she drops back to a maiden over 2,000 metres, and we just wanted to potentially give her a chance to get into an Oaks. So we're hopeful that she goes there tomorrow night and knocks over a maiden, to say the least, and then we'll weigh things up. But she's short price favourite. She's got Luke Cartwright in the saddle, who rode her first start, getting 1.5 kilos off her, and she's really well placed in that race. And then we head to, I've got to try and remember the order here, we've got Seven Oceans running an 1,000 metre maiden. She has been a little bit disappointing the first two runs for us, but we think we've sort of worked her out. We've got a Norton bid on her first time, dropping back to 1,000 metres, and she's drawn a gate finally. She's had two runs where she's been drawn terribly wide, and she's a filly that really needs favours, given she goes quite keenly. So if she can jump, settle outside the leader or a pair behind and be there on the corner, we'd love a little bit of range. She does want given the track. I see there's 3 to 4 mils there that hopefully we'll get before she runs. So if she does get a bit of a soft track and an ideal draw, she should be hard to beat. We also have Lyrics the Song, daughter of Melody Bell, having a second start. She trialled last Monday and trialled the house down, had visors on, rattled home. We kept it at 1,200 with the visors for the first time, but someone's impatient to pay. But we just thought, yeah, visors first time, she'll be ideally suited at 1,200, and I do think she'll be hard to beat even from gate 7. We have Estinay and our Paramore in the same race. Estinay's second up. She would love a little bit of juice out of the ground, and you know, she's a filly that's won at Flemington, so she drops back to Cranbourne, benchmark 66 over a mile, blinkers on. We're hopeful that she can really turn around her form, and our Paramore will just be there for, you know, a run and a fitness builder, and hopefully she can run on into a top 3. It would be a really promising beginning to her preparation. And the last of those runners, I believe, is Jealous, and she's third up for us, and she's really well placed. She drops back in grade from a Pinker plate, which was a really competitive race, and she has barrier 3, and yeah, she's in a really good position to run, I think, and knock over the first win for us on Friday night.
And heading into Saturday, we have a very busy, exciting day with 2 runners in the Derby.
Yeah, we do. So we've got Azazel here, who won the Geelong Derby trial last Thursday, and won it in really good style, tough fashion. And he's, I think he's about 5th line of betting in the market, but we certainly know that he's going to run the trip, and just wants to eat, which is a good sign. He's in great order, had a lovely gallop on the course proper on Tuesday morning with McWoody, our other Derby horse, and he couldn't be heading into the race any better. He's been down the beach in Lauriston, which is a strong part of our system, for 3 days in the sun and in the water, and you can tell he's glowing, right into his food, and you couldn't have him any better heading into the Derby.
McWoody?
And McWoody's much the same. He also galloped on Tuesday morning, strong hit out. He goes in 3rd up, which is, you know, not a usual conventional Derby preparation, but he's very naturally gifted staying horse, we think. Got a really good base fitness and really good aerobic capacity, so we think that 3rd up suits this horse. He's drawn a wide barrier, and he will be ridden cold from there, but one thing he will do is he'll run out a strong 2,500, being by Alabama Express and out of a street climb mare. So Treasure of the Moment was that same bloodlines, and we saw what she did last year, so hopefully he'll be half as good as her. But yeah, he'll be ridden quietly, and I'm sure he'll be running on strongly at the end of 2,500.
Chris Mira into the Wakeful?
His mare, some would say we're sort of throwing mud at the wall there, but this filly's going to really outrun her price. She galloped with Damask Rose actually on Tuesday and really worked well. She's got visors on first time. There's a bit of rain around Flemington. Hopefully we just get a lovely, good 4 off 5. She'll appreciate that. But we'll ride her quietly, and one thing she will do is relish the 2,000 metres at Flemington. So I think she's a genuinely good top 4, top 3 chance at the price. And you never know if she runs out of her skin. There's still the Oaks there on Thursday, so dare to dream. She's a Frankel filly for good clients in Seymour Park, Darren Thomas and Mark Pilkington. So we're really hoping we can get her stakes place as a very valuable Frankel filly.
And mentioning Damask Rose, she's into the Empire Rose Stakes.
She is. She's due. Let's just say that. She's absolutely cherry ripe, as she was for the Toorak. And by due I mean some luck. She finished behind a wall of horses last start on the bridle. Jamie Carr was equally frustrated. If she got out, I really think she would have won that Group 1. And she gets to Flemington, which is a straight she'll really appreciate. Lovely forgiving surface like Flemington, and she's equally as good as last start. She's held her form. She's thriving, in fact. So Blake Shin chose her, which was a really good confidence booster that we had the right horse for the race. And yeah, we think she's thriving. So with even luck, which at Flemington's a much more forgiving place, hopefully she's rattling down the outside and winning our first Group 1 of the spring.
GG's Miss Truth.
Yeah, this filly, she ran really well first up. Really found form in a race where she wasn't suited. They went really fast, and she was off the bridle and she rattled home. But it was good to see her in a rhythm. She breathed well and she rattled home. So down the straight, she does have good form over sort of 1400 back in Tasmania, and sometimes down the straight 1200. That can be a big thing in her favour, that sort of form. So. There's plenty of pace with the Clinton McDonald horse start patrol. He'll rattle along, and it'll be a similar setup to her first up run for us, where they rolled along. And if she can be in touch at the right point, I can really see her rattling down the outside. And she's I'm not sure what she's in the market, to be honest, but she's a very good winning chance.
And then finally Sunday onto Traralgon.
So Saturday at Traralgon, we've got 2 other runners. We've got a Starry who resumes, who's trialled up well, having his second run for us. He wasn't ready last prep, but he certainly is this prep. I believe he's drawn barrier 5, so he has a really good chance from that gate at Traralgon, where you've got to be positive and sort of there on the turn. So off his trial, he's certainly a winning chance, and we have Tatahi Bay going there with him, who's been running really well, consistent, but I think she finds the right race on Saturday as well. And we'd love to think we can go to Traralgon and have a double, hopefully to match one of the Group 1s at Flemington. We'd be thrilled. And Sunday morning's another 2 runners. We've got a Written Tycoon filly on debut called Coco for owners in Howard and Carol Riley, who are a lovely couple that support us with a few of their horses. So we're hoping this filly won impressively a jump out last week, blinkers on, and she goes there with a great chance. And we have Stage and Screen resuming for a great group of clients in the Akau Silks. And she's trialled well. She hasn't drawn the best barrier, but again, hoping that rain hits this weekend, as she's another horse that will really relish it and can hopefully run a nice top 3 race for the first up run and set us up for a big preparation ahead.
And out of all of those runners, what's your best for the weekend?
It's a very tough choice. I think Donato will win tomorrow at Kilmore to hopefully kickstart things. We might even go a little multi. We might throw in Lyrics and Song at Cranbourne. I think she'll be hard to beat. And then for a bit of value, we'll back the Damask Rose to win our first Group 1 on Saturday on Derby Day in the Empire Rose.
Perfect, thank you.